Hey everybody, some of you caught the tail end of me speaking on Arlyn's call. We just kind of merged ours together. And so you're seeing a lot of new faces from her team, but we're all one big team with Diesel Nation. I asked her to speak because I watched her and she reminded of me and Melissa when we were hustling our asses off to come home. And she was the same way that Melissa and I were. There was times where we didn't think that we could do it, but we did it. And I wanted her to share her story because I see so many people who have the struggle with the balancing of life. And, some of you have already heard my story or heard Melissa's story, and it's always nice to hear from a fresh new face and a different voice and hear this. But she has two small children. Her husband really wasn't super supportive about this, so she had extra things to overcome, and I wanted her to share what the motive was for her to put up with that and overcome it, and why she worked so hard. So anyways, I'm going to turn it over to her.
Hi, it's a big honor to be on your team call. I've always looked up to Mindy since I was a baby coach, and I was like, who is this Mindy lady and what do I need to do to be her? I would stalk her. I totally still stalk her because I think she's amazing and she's a true rock star to Diesel Nation. And I know how much you mean to Becky and to Christina. So it's a true honor to be on your team call. Those of you that don't know, my name is Arlyn Pino. I'm on Christina Delgado's team. I've been a coach since April 2014, but I really don't like saying that I've been a coach since then because I signed up 30 weeks pregnant with my second baby. I signed up for the discount. Didn't want anything to do with retiring from my career. I wanted the discount and just to make extra money to have sufficient funds during my maternity leave. Once I went back to work in November and I realized that I had to balance a career, husband, and two babies, I realized that I needed to get out of there. And the only solution that I had was to run with Beachbody. So that was November of 2014. I was scared. If you have any new coaches on your team that are hesitant and they're scared, and speak to them and find out what's stopping them. For me, what was stopping me, it wasn't my hustle, it wasn't my passion, it was my fear of putting myself out there. I lived a very private life. Nobody knew anything about me. And as Beachbody coaches, we put ourselves out there, and that's what gets us to relate with our audience and with our potential coaches and customers. And talk to your coach. This is what I'm getting at. Be coachable and open up with your coach, because if I would have never shared with Christina that I was scared to come out of the Beachbody closet and to put myself out there, she would have never had a solution for me. Pretty much what she told me was, get over it. Nobody pays your bills. Do what you have to do to be home with your babies. So I became Diamond end of January of 2015. So that was within 2 months of working the business, I became Diamond. And all of 2015, I took it as my learning time as a coach. I would miss out on sleep. I would sacrifice time. I still do breathe Beachbody day in and day out. I made it my goal to be a present mom. And I knew it was going to take time. It was going to take sacrifice, but I had to be consistent with showing up every day and making it my priority. So through the beginning of 2015, I learned the business. I was coachable. I would go to Super Saturday. I didn't have any working coaches. Half of my challengers wouldn't even send me the results, but I didn't let that stop me because I had vision. And what I want to share with you today is, to be successful in this business, it depends where you're at and what you want out of Beachbody, but everyone has a why. Whether it's your fitness journey or your business journey, you need to have a strong why, and you need to have vision for that why. If you believe that Beachbody will be the solution to your why, you have to stay focused and put your blinders on and keep your eye on the prize. When I was struggling to get people to follow me or to join me or anyone to believe in Beachbody, if I would have quit the first time someone told me no, I wouldn't be sitting here as a retired teacher, full-time mom boss that I am today. So when this business gets hard, that's when you have to show up even more. So all of 2015, like I said, I was learning the business, working hard, hustling. I qualified as a 2-star Diamond to go to the New Leaders Conference, which was January of this year, and that was a game changer. Whether you're a new coach or you've been around for a while, if you haven't been to New Leaders Conference, make that your goal, whether it's from here to December or whenever it is the deadline to qualify for next year or the following year, you have to make it a priority to make that part of your business, because that event was my game changer. It gave me the confidence that I needed to lead a team, and it gave me the belief that Beachbody was the answer to me being a present mom. So how did I do this? How did I balance 2 babies under the age of 2, a husband? I was a department head for my grade level. I had the advanced kids. I had 29 students. What did I do to get there? I sacrificed a lot. And it started with speaking to my husband. Like Mindy said at the beginning, he didn't believe in this. He even told me, like, you cannot post our life on social media. So communication is the key. Whether you live with a significant other, or you're a single parent that lives with your kids, or you live at home with your parents, whoever it is that's part of your life, you need to communicate with them your goal and how you are going to take Beachbody to the next level, and how Beachbody is going to help you with whatever it is that you have going on with your life. The moment I sat down with my husband and I told him, listen, I want to be a stay-at-home mom, but I want to have my business. I want to be a present mom, a present wife. This is what it's going to take. And I explained to him, I'm not going to be able to watch TV. We're going to have to not go out on the weekends. We're going to have to sacrifice the night routine, and you're going to have to take care of the girls and put them to sleep. And I was able to communicate with him the sacrifices that had to take place and how our life was going to be once I got to my goal of being a stay-at-home mom. It put us on the same page, and I made him part of the business. Everything was about us and we. It wasn't my business. It was our family's business. Like, even my daughters think that they're Beachbody coaches, and they're toddlers. So that's one advice that I'm going to give each and every one of you. Make everyone part of your business. So throughout the last year of my teaching career, there were times that I didn't even know if I could retire. Like, Christina Delgado would even look at me like, okay, you're believing this too much. I need you to stay grounded, and maybe you're going to have to go back to your career another year. And I did. And I believed it in my heart, and I believed it that it was going to happen. I knew it wasn't going to fall on my lap. I knew people were not just going to come to me. I was going to have to show up every day. So what did I do? I would wake up almost 2 hours earlier than what I had to go to work. During that time, I would work out. I would create my posts. I would reply to emails. I would just have a power hour / workout session. Take a quick shower, head out to work. During my drive, I would listen to personal development. I would listen to old team recordings. I would listen to national wake-up calls. That was my time to just focus on listening to personal development or learning the business. I would get to work, and my job in our contract is that we were not allowed to be on social media at all. Pretty much we would get fired. So some of you have flexibility at work to be able to post your lunch. I didn't have that flexibility. So I had to be very structured with how I showed up daily to my social media. I had to clock in at 7:30. So by 7:29, I would post something, whether it was my workout, motivational quote, anything. I would go to work and I would get out either at 3:30, or there were days that I didn't get out of work till 8. So I was MIA from my social media for all those hours, but I still made it happen. How did I do it? The moment I would clock out, I would sit in my car for like 10, 15 minutes, and I would get on social media and show up and post something. And I would go, head out, pick up my girls. And on the way to pick up my girls, I would listen to some more personal development. So let's just say that I was a little behind with the radio because music was not a priority. My business was. So I just want to share with you these sacrifices so that you can see what these sacrifices can do for you and your family. I would get home, cook dinner, deal with my girls. And right there, that was another time to get online. I would go live on Facebook, share recipes. So even though I was limited with time, with how I would show up to my business and to social media, I used any little second that I had available to show up. My husband would take care of the girls' night routine, and I would sit at my desk, get my coffee, which I still do, and I would just show up and work the business, learn it. I would go on YouTube. If there was something that I didn't know of the business, whether it was how to be consistent with Success Club, how to recruit coaches, how to have effective challenges, whatever issue I was having at the moment, I would find a solution by getting on YouTube, Coach Online Office, or Google and figuring it out. I would go to sleep at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. There were days that I would go to work on 2 to 3 hours of sleep. Did it suck? Totally. I mean, I would just, and I was a teacher. And if you knew me as a teacher, I was like a clown of a teacher. I would not just stand there and teach. Like, I would perform a show for my students. So it took a lot of energy, but I had to do it because I had to be that good teacher to them. It wasn't fair to them for me to slack. And B, I had to show up to my business if I wanted it to work out. Throughout my last year of teaching, I really didn't have a team as of yet. It took a lot of time for me to find a team of working coaches and to get my salary to where it had to be for me to walk out of the classroom. And as of June 24th of this year, I was able to say goodbye to my teaching career and be a full-time teacher. And that's how I got here. A couple of things that I wanted to share with you. It can be hard. I can't sit here and tell you that coaching, yes, anyone can do it, but anyone that has heart and passion to wanting a life by design. If you have a strong why and you have vision to get there, you will get there. But you have to sacrifice and make Beachbody your priority. If your goal is to walk away from your 9 to 5, Beachbody has to be like the first thing you think of when you wake up. And life happens. I get it. Kids get sick. Your spouse gets sick. You have endless meetings at work. But Beachbody is going to be the solution to all those problems that you have right now. So when you're on your lunch break, don't go and sit with your coworkers and gossip about the latest Kim Kardashian news. Stay at your desk, or better yet, because they used to interrupt me, go outside. I used to sit under a tree. Like, I look like a crazy teacher, but I didn't care. Go sit under a tree, sit in your car, and work your business. Send invites at that time. Reply to messages. Listen to personal development. Do whatever vital behavior you could do at that time. Other things that I wanted to share with you, for instance, I drank my Shakeology at work. I couldn't snap a picture because if my boss would see me on social media that I took a picture of my Shakeology in my classroom, I would get in trouble. So I had to get creative with how I would share Shakeology on my social media. So if you're on my team and you're on this call, like, I would have to do little photo shoots of me and my Shakeology on the weekends, because if I couldn't snap a picture at work, I had to snap a picture somehow and put it on my social media. So get creative with your posts. I also suggest to have a schedule for your post. A lot of times I see coaches that they start sharing useless things on social media. Like right now in Florida, we have a hurricane that's coming and everyone in the world is already sharing it. Like, why do you need to share it as well? Like, track the hurricane. Everyone else on your social media is doing it. So when you post on social media, yes, be relatable, make it about your story, but make sure that the content is something good that you're offering to your audience. Don't keep on sharing the Kardashian news. Everyone else already knows it. Don't be that person that's sharing pointless things. Share a healthy recipe that people could want to come to your page and be like, oh my God, Mindy is always sharing a healthy recipe for breakfast. Let me go to her page and check it out. And then right there, they're going to see an invite and be like, you know what? Let me just join this challenge group she keeps on posting about, because apparently she's filled with great tips. And that's how you're going to get people to want to come to your page. Also, by having a schedule, it's going to get to a point that it's going to be like tattooed to your brain. It's going to make it easier for you to stay organized. My team has a schedule that most of us follow. And every day at 3 o'clock, if you go to any of my coaches' page, you're going to find something funny, because 3 o'clock is our funny time. And that's when we put Taco Tuesdays or Wine Wednesday, or, how motherhood is so crazy. So by doing this, you're going to stay on track to not overpost or underpost, and to be able to put effective content out there for your audience. So definitely wake up earlier, go to sleep later. Sleeping is not going to give you success. I know it feels amazing to sleep, but when you're sleeping, the other entrepreneurs are the ones taking the challengers from you. So think of it that way, okay? If you have access, I think all of you do have access to D-Zonation. Use the scripts that Becky created. I mean, she put a lot of time into it. And ever since I started using them last summer, my business completely changed, because a lot of times we get so excited when someone says, I'm ready to order, and we send them the link and we lose them, right? If we have patience and we get to know them and we ask them about their goals and we use those scripts, you're going to build a connection with the person that they're going to trust you as a coach. So when you tell them that the challenge pack is $140, they're going to understand that it's not that expensive with everything that they're getting, because you were able to explain it to them and share the videos with them. So definitely, if you're not using the scripts, I highly suggest to save them on a notepad on your phone and use them, because it's also going to keep you organized. So when you're limited with time at work during your lunch break, you literally just have to copy and paste. You don't even have to think of what to send. Definitely stay consistent, show up daily. A lot of times I had a coach that said, oh, I have a challenger that left with another coach. She didn't come to me. And I had to give her a reality check. She went with the coach that shows up every day. I mean, when I went to pick a coach, it was between 5 Diesel Nation coaches. Out of those 5, only one is still around, which is Christina Delgado. Those 5, 4 of them I knew personally. Like, they were not my friends, but I actually knew them. I had met them before, and I picked a complete stranger. Why did I pick the complete stranger? Because Christina Delgado was the one that showed up every day. The other 4, even though I knew them personally, they weren't consistent. So I didn't trust them as my coach. So definitely be consistent with showing up daily. Even if people are not liking or commenting on your pictures, they're watching you and they're waiting to see when they're going to jump on board with you. What else? Let me see what else I can share with you. Definitely get out of your comfort zone. Share your story. Last month, I had a really good month, and I hardly even invited to my challenge groups. I got most of the people that joined me because they related to my stories. So you have to be relatable. I know Mindy always says that, turn your mess into a message. And it works because people see that you're human. It's not just about a shake and a workout. It's about how it's helped you have energy to run after your kids, or how it's helped you feel more confident than ever in front of your husband. So definitely be relatable with your storytelling. And if you don't know how to storytell, go on YouTube. There's a workshop that Monica Lopez and I did. I don't remember the name of it. If you look up Monica Lopez and Arlyn Pino, it's there. We did a workshop to help coaches figure out how to storytell. And it was an index card that you would write everything and anything that described you. For example, like pink lipstick, glitter, cruising, vacation, whatever it is that describes you. And then when you would look at it, that's how your social media has to look, so that it's like your brand. Definitely go on YouTube and listen to that call. It was really good, and it'll help you with storytelling. And keep your eye on the prize. Don't compare to others. Just keep your blinders on and know that if you're consistent, you follow the 4 vital behaviors, you believe in Beachbody, and you stay positive that this is going to happen for you, it will. But you have to have a strong why, and you have to have vision that it is going to happen. And even if, I know some people don't believe in this, but it's part of the business. Like, close your eyes and envision how your life is going to be once you get to your goal. And once you can feel it and believe it and even taste it, it's going to help you stay on track to never even thinking about quitting and just continuing on with your path with Beachbody. So I don't know if I rambled on, Mindy. I get really excited when I talk, and I'm on coffee, so.
Is it Cuban coffee? Because good Lord.
No Cuban coffee at night. That was this morning. This is American coffee.
Oh, no, you did great. Does anybody have any questions? So I know that there are some new coaches here, and Arlyn was just like I was on her call, very open, and it sounds scary. And I'm going to be honest with you. Like, most coaches, when they start this business, will tell you or tell themselves that they don't ever want to go full-time. They love their job. And I don't have any predetermined notions for anybody of what I expect them to do. But my hope always is that they will learn to believe in themselves and see the longevity and the benefits of being a coach and staying in our family, so that they don't ever want to leave. And I hope that they will believe in themselves that they can do this, because most people who say, oh, I don't want to go full-time, it's because they've become comfortable with the life that they live. And it's comfortable to say, oh, I don't need a lot of money. I just want to be happy. And they convince themselves of that. And it comes down to one of those like safe goals that like, oh, I want to be diamond by this time next year. That's just a safety thing. And I've heard some people just that they've told me over and over and over again, I don't want to quit my job. And I don't ever pressure anybody to do that. But I do know that every person down deep wants their freedom. They don't want to have to ask to take time off and wait to see if it's approved. They don't want to be limited by how many days off they get. They don't want to be stressed out about if they have enough time to, stay home with their children, the adequate time for them to actually get well before they can go back to school. But society has just made us think that that's just normal. And I try to share with people that that's not normal, and stop, settling for less. but also look at the big picture, because people look about right now, and I'll be honest, most people don't want to put in the hard work. Most people don't want to put in the hard work, because the picture that she painted, the picture that I was talking to her team about before our call, was the same thing. I worked, early in the mornings. I'm messaging people as I'm, getting lunches together. I spent every break. I spent my lunches. I spent, when the kids were in the bath, I stayed up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. But I did that for 21 months. And then you know what? For about the next, 2 years after I came home as a coach, I slept till like 10 or 11 a lot of mornings, and I only worked Monday through Thursday, and that's my life now still. I don't screw off as much as I did in the beginning, because I kind of did feel like I worked really hard for 21 months to come home and to enjoy my family, and I did that. But it does pay off, and anything that you work hard for, you're going to get results. And, you just have to be willing to look and say, is working for 2 years with my nose to the, down, my head down, pushing towards my goal, to have a lifetime of freedom, and also that sense of fulfillment that I did that, you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? I would hope that you would look at it and balance it out and realize it is worth it. But, like I said, I don't sugarcoat anything, because I see coaches out there, unfortunately, who are like, oh, come on, I made this much money and I got to this rank and our team is this and this, we have all the systems, and they give this picture to coaches that's so unrealistic. And a lot of those coaches, have sponsored people who have done amazing things in the time, but they didn't have that heart and that hustle and that loyalty to Beachbody. So when the first, things started to get a little faltering in their business, they were like, cut and run. So there is really beauty in the messy parts of coaching, because that's where you realize how invested you really are. And then that's where you learn from it. So I hope that this call has helped you understand that there is sacrifice, but we're on the other side of it, and it is so worth it. I was telling my friend today when we were driving to Houston, actually Lou Nam, who she asked, like, how do you know him? I'm like, I've only known him a couple of years. And she's like, how? I'm like, from coaching. And she's like, oh, he came all the way here from North Carolina to surprise you? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, we're like really close. And, it was just so amazing. Like, Brandon knew him, and Brandon was screwing with me because, he knew who was coming. And like, all of this is my family. Like, this is, normal stuff. But like on a Tuesday, I was able to just get up, grab my friend. We went to drop him off at the airport. We spent, all yesterday together, working out, doing core de force. Didn't have to wait till 5 o'clock or dinner was done to do it. Or I didn't have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, this is my life. Like, I would never, ever, ever, ever go back to busting my butt in the mornings to go work for somebody else, to only having an hour lunch and 5 to maybe 10 days a year of vacation. I would never do that. And I would work those 21 months all over again if somebody said, you have to do that to continue this life. It was worth it 100-fold. So that's all I have to say too. Thank you all for getting on the call. Next week, we're not going to have a team call. It's going to be, I have my one-on-one calls with my personally sponsored coaches. So enjoy your next Tuesday. And thank you again, Arlene. And thank you to your team for staying on as well. It was nice seeing new faces.
Same here. Thank you for having me, Mindy. Have a good night.
All right. Good night, everybody.